Ba-ba-ba. Oh, all right. How are you doing? Yo, it's December 10th. December 10th, y'all. Holy shit. Haven't done a comic book haul in a minute. It's been crazy, fucked up shit. Man. Insane. In the motherfucking membrane, y'all. Yeah, I came out to Denver in August of 2020. I had quit my job. Left friends at a really nice spot. I think it's Comic Book Hall 3 or 2 or some shit. You'll see. On Throne, Ypsilanti Throne Comic Book Hall. I'll put a link up to it down below, but man, pretty fucked up. People arm cheering. My aunts, my mom's couple sisters. Pretty cool. People arm cheering from other time zones. My sister, who lives like a 5-minute walk away, never comes over. Yeah. It's pretty fucked up. I'm trying to take care of my mom with her dementia. It's been such an awful choice. Yeah. So, just wanted to mention that. It's been totally fucked up. Yeah, it's been fucking harsh. Like, choosing not to be vaccinated and not being allowed to work is a huge setback on top of this crazy shit. Everything they do here is monitored. This, like, closed community, it's pretty fucked up. So, yeah, I called the police on my cousin who was like, yeah, you're like a child with all your comics and you don't know how to take care of your mom. And these people have never visited. They've never come over here. So I called the police and just tell them to back off. Nothing serious. Just somebody's going to threaten me that this guy's a prison security guard. Before things get worse, I'd rather just have the police have a record of me saying to back off. And so the police stopped by a week later on Wednesday to do a health check on me and my mom. Oh my God. They recorded. I was in the garage smoking a joint, just chilling after work. And there was like 4 of them. It's pretty weird. I was just chilling in the garage. I was just like, yeah, do you have any questions? They were like, is everything okay? Everything, we're just doing a health check. I go, yeah, I'm fine, but I go, you guys are just doing a health check. I'm like, I just got off work. How can you just come in people's homes and record stuff? They got this light shining in my face, and they're like laughing about it, like it's no big deal. And I just said, it's very distressing that you guys can do this. They're like, well, your mom let us in, and I'm like, okay. Jesus Christ. So they just went through our mail and went in all the rooms that had the doors open when I went inside, and they were recording stuff, and I just said, please leave. They're very nice, and they left, but it was absurd, violating, very violating. And I started this new job but didn't start off well. Whatever. Yeah, not whatever. It just, this is stupid. God. Yeah, some miscommunication. I called HR to ask for help, and then they told everybody that I worked with that I called them because they wanted to get people's feedback. And I'm like, why would you do that? I was calling you to get feedback. Why would you do that? So that created tension with work that's being resolved. But yeah, so it's like you go to work, there's that bullshit to deal with. You come home, you got relatives arm cheering. My birthday was in October. My sister was like, I'm going to move mom out and you're going to have to be left with the entire amount of the rent. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm moving out. Like moving out. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm just going to try and help. Wait for the lease to end by like February, March. And people calling the police and people, the hospital in August. My sister was supposed to take my mom to the hospital. I had to reschedule it because she didn't do it. She didn't show up. She didn't show up the second time I rescheduled. And so the hospital called me up all rude and disrespecting me to see if my mom was going to make it to the next appointment, which wasn't even related to the last one. And I said, yeah, I go, the one coming up tomorrow is a follow-up from the appointment I had set up in April. This was in August. So I called their like department where you file complaints because the girl was really mean, interrupting me, speaking over me. And they wrote me up because they said to it's so awful here in Colorado. Even like on the road, 2022, they got the most fatalities per car accident in 41 years. And everybody's telling me I'm crazy when I'm like, it's kind of weird on the roads here. I'm like, if people drove like this where I'm from, I don't think they would be able to get away with this for more than 10 minutes. Even the way people act, it's not for me. Very cold, really mean. People that are from here and talking front range, real passive aggressive. But if you try and call people out, they get like real mean. Unnecessarily. Cursing, very childish, or just bullshit. People like will come out of their car and try and start a fight. Fucked up. You're just like, all right. I'm like, I'll take your car. Anyway, so I said to the hospital, I'm like, no wonder you guys breed active shooters here. I'm like, you treat me awful. I said it just to be like a real mean jab. So they called the hospital and they called my sister and said I threatened them with a gun. Yeah. I threatened to bring a gun into the campus of University of Colorado Health and shoot them. That's what they interpreted that as, which it is what it is. I was in the heat of the moment. It's been hell here alone with people from other time zones criticizing me to the extent where they're making remarks about this new term in the past 10 years that's become more popular, mental health. I'm like, yeah, if you're being walked on and nobody's fucking speaking up for you. Yeah, I had to unload that because I am going through some crazy shit. Tried to be constructive with it. Got this certification. It's called the Network Plus, CompTIA Network Plus. It's not like a Cisco certification, which is like the more higher rated thing to study for. Either way, it's like multiple choice tests and some fill in the blank scenarios. I gotta say, from the CompTIA test that I took 20 years ago, it was an A+ though. It took me, 5 minutes to take that test. This one, first 5 questions when I took the test yesterday, I was like, what? I passed, thank God, knock on wood, right? Knock on some of that Star Wars Return of the Jedi, top of that, leading that stack of haul, yeah. But that's just it. I guess it's the only thing I can try and convey to y'all for the first, 5 minutes, 6 minutes here. So sorry. Let's get a move on. But there's a MLK quote, right? If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. It's not about think positive. It's not about, you do what you do. Like, you just keep going. Right, like hopefully that certification will help get me some leverage to get a better job. I've had like an interview a week in the past month, pretty much, yeah. So interviews can be a little draining here and there, but in a good way, right? It's you practice the whole rapport. All right. So I've been busy trying to work my way out of a really messed up situation. I can't take it here anymore. Can't do it. Thankfully, there's some people in the area, like the people that work over at Vision Comics and Oddities, are really Fucking cool people. But they still never followed up on the request for help. Like, it was all about me trying to get help to begin with. So I got a new doctor that's for my mom and asked her for help because my sister tried to use my mom as a tool to retaliate against me calling her on her bullshit. My sister threatened to move my mom out and leave me with the rent here. And the doctor said there's nothing you can do. So I called some lawyer and he said, call Adult Protective Services. Yeah. So I'm not into doing that type of shit. Some fucked up shit. So, yeah, rough patch right now in my life. I left a really good situation about 3 years, 4 months ago. I'm stuck in the past, living in the past, trying to move forward, trying to get over it, the whole self-pity fucking thing. But that is a challenge, though. I mean, that is what that is. And I'm trying to work through it. But it's been so hard just to concentrate on anything. And then to have those cops come in. I'm in the garage, smoking a joint, chilling. All of a sudden, there's like a fucking light. Hello? They're like, hello? Hello? I'm sorry, who is this? Is this Sequential Geek? No, they didn't say that. But I was like, are you recording this, I guess, then? Because you have a light in my face and I'm trying to relax after being out of work. I was very down to earth. They were down to earth. But at the end of the day, it was very odd when I said, it's distressing that you guys can come here and do this. And then they're both smiling, and one guy's holding like literally a camera. The other guy had a body cam on, but he's like smiling, nodding his head. Well, we do this all the time. It's like, do your job. I respect you got to do your job, I guess. What the fuck? Because my mom let him in, and she has dementia, so they ran with it in a really unnecessary way. Pretty fucked up. So hell of a past 3.5 years for me, pretty much. I wish y'all the best dealing with your own personal conflicts. Return of the Jedi. Conflicts. Let's just go through this real quick. And then you all will die. Doesn't he say something like that? And then there will be peace. Here's some new comics. So these are comics, new comics from the past, like a couple months, essentially. So we're talking December 10th today. Yeah, I'd say since like middle October. This is interesting. Some demon is like trying to explain like how he fucked up, and this guy's like, so you could, I don't know, I just came in the middle of the story. This guy's like, yeah, I just decided to think up Spawn. And then this other guy's like, probably Satan then? He's like, yeah, and what if Spawn then turns around and fulfills his purpose and starts attacking us? Well, so the main vampire character in this ends up biting Spawn. I guess in doing so, it transfers his memories and his experiences. So they're fighting, their conflict stops, and he gets vamped out. We get some origin of Al Simmons. And then he's like, we gotta fix what's going on today because the world's all fucked up. and they are attacking hell. We got a promo story with this demon that wants this guy to kill Satan, essentially. All right. A quick review. Brooding Muse, Cherry Bomb Comics. It's very like illustrative. You got like a different artist for the front, the back. Yeah, I wasn't into like just pick one. Pick some. Come on. Story: Patrick James. Art: Hernan Gonzalez. Brooding Muse number 6. And this is just this kind of real like kind of reminded me a little bit of Damien Connolly's work. More illustrative, but still the proportions with human anatomy and angles, paneling, all that. I just didn't think it was intolerable. Some amateur stuff is just like intolerable as much as you want to support somebody, but the facial expressions and all this shit, totally scary. Yeah. And then this gets violent. This gets nasty. This kid right here. So horrific. What the fuck? Spoiler alert. Was that Terry Moore's witch comic? Can't remember. Oh, I love that book, that comic. But looking morose, gnarly, brooding muse. Keep an eye out. Cherry Bomb, baby. Yeah. Vision Comics and Oddities. This is southwest of Denver. Yeah, they got their own comic. Just wanted to show this. One of the people that worked there, Jason, hooked me up. I just want to give a shout out to that shop. And I was just giving him a hard time. I was like, yeah, I got every single comic of Ad Mausoleum cover, except for that one by that one girl. And what's her name? He sold me the copy that he's got. This is the latest one. This is AC Canales. He's like the mind behind it. Chris Lanham? Is there Lan? Is that right? Yeah, Lanham. That's the owner of Vision, but AC Canales. He's got the first story here, and he's been compiling his stories now into comics themselves that he's selling still under the Vision Comics and Oddities label, which is cool. I hope that this works out long term. Gab's SAENS, Gab Sayns. So, and it's just like life story type stuff. This one is more like a hitman, and this is the hitman's friend, and the corporation that the hitman was working for wants the corn guy to die, so his friend is this dude. Oh yeah. Look at that. Massive pumpkin. Yeah, you definitely want him on your side. And then this is Sayn's. This is the cover she did for the first issue. This is just like a story about some guy that's going to a Halloween party and they're going to dress him up. Yeah. Cool artwork. So, all different types of stories. Stories of life are cool. Yeah, this one is just sort of like, ironic story. This guy's selling a fake tonic and it fucks him up. I like the AC Canales stories, but 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, and then he does like an ad for his own stuff. Yeah. That's all right. I was going to say, put the ad maybe here. Like, don't use these titles, these intro pages, these title pages. Do you have that be half? And then maybe have your title here and then your ad for your comic there. And then begin a couple panels there. I don't know, just great cover though by AC Canales of Giselle, the main character. She's the one that has this like eye that he added in as like her sidekick. Quilioth is another local artist from the Denver area. I think the guy's name is Yaxam, Yaxam. I'm not sure. But I know that this magazine, Tales from Quilioth, I showed this off in my previous haul. It's a compilation of these mini comics that I finally found. Really high quality indie stuff here. This guy's a local artist. He's bringing these to local comic shops, and then the shops are selling them. This guy's just driving around in his car, self-publishing them, and it's not simple BS here. It's some serious work. And so these three, I think it was the red one, this one, Lazor. Yeah, Lazora. That's one of the characters here, right there. And so let's take a look at one of them. Yeah, look at that artwork. Story of life, like this person waking up type of thing. But just reminds me of early work that people like, what is it, Hanselman did, and Steve Rugg, and even Crumb, as well as Spain. These types of mini comics are the way to go, in my opinion, for keeping an eye out for an up-and-coming artist. It's the way to go for trying to put your name out there. They stand out. You know, this person's got these bright paper, but you can kind of like feel the ink too on here. But as you can see, something more to it than just somebody that wants to put their name out, right? No ads as well. No name though. No name. Yeah, just this, I haven't checked this out actually. Prismatic Cavern. Prismatic Cavern. That's like the, where is it? It's a, yeah, right here. Prismatic Cavern at gmail.com. So Prismatic Cavern at gmail.com. Yeah, that other local artist that I showed off that did Infinite Wheat Paste. Unfortunately, the name's not coming to mind. Sent that person just an email, and then got an address, and then have gotten some comics and a trade paperback that had this like backing board that had an entire drawing on it. It's pretty cool that artist added. And shit, Infinite Wheat Paste. Who's that artist? Don't recall. But that's somebody that's an artist that lives in this area. Alex Graham, that woman, she's from this area, but she's been living in the Northwest in Seattle for a while. She's got that anthropomorphic comic, Dog Biscuits. So just dropping some names for some indie artists for y'all to check out. No Romance in Hell. There's a couple of books here. I thought this was a local artist, but I think it's San Francisco. And it's just this girl. She is this one story. This one's like way thicker. I think this is the first one. It's like 2020 and 2021. It's by Hyena Hell, and that's the only name. Published by Silver Sprocket, but the creator's name is Hyena Hell. So, and this girl's like pissed. She's just like, I'm not into this. Oh yeah, she becomes a demon, and she's in hell. That's her boyfriend, but she's like sick of this guy, and so now she's gonna fucking go to Earth and start dating people. Yeah, she's a changing room, a fitting room in some like clothing shop is where she turns into a human, but she still has the powers of a demon. So now she's like dating all these guys. She's fucking going through these dudes, like, but essentially, right, she just ends up back with this guy. Yeah, essentially it's kind of like an erotic comic. I mean, so she goes back to her original boyfriend who's a demon. He's torturing these people in Earth, and he's like, yeah, I got you this this extra stick here for you to torture people with, and he's like, I found this stick. It's really sharp. You can like help poke these eternally damned. So then they end up like, after she comes back, so they end up hooking up, but they're like tearing off each other's faces because they're demons. They can do pretty much like whatever the fuck they want, and then they disintegrate each other, but they come back because they're demons, and they're still screwing, and yeah, so now she like left this guy to end up coming back to him. Slice of life. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of a long haul, I guess, huh? What a shock. Trick or read. The comics for all ages. See if I can go through these faster. These are just the giveaways at the shop. Hopefully I can go through these fast enough, a little bit faster. And they have these like masks, right, that you can cut out. So got a couple of those. Werewolf by Night. This is pretty fucking crazy. Check this shit out. Werewolf by Night, 1980, number 29. 1980, number 30. Solo Avengers, number 3. So we got a couple of Doug Munch stories, and then Roger Stern. Roger Stern's kick-ass. It's a great writer from the 80s. You got to check out. Did a bunch of Avengers stories. And Mark Spector Moon Knight, 52 to 53. So some Copper Age goodness that they're reprinting. Not bad. Bill Sienkiewicz, right? Bill Sienkiewicz. Or Sienkiewicz, whatever. But oh, what have we here, right? Santos Sisters 1. First print. Right, but gosh, right, she has some Santos Sisters, y'all. American Nature, that's what it says, but we're talking Floating World Comics. Floating World Comics. Greg and Fake, right? Help me out here. I don't know how to spell that. F-A-K-E, that's his name. His name's Fake. Okay, he's got a fake name. I guess that's the deal. So I showed off issue 5 recently, and just with the whole Santos Sisters Halloween special that was coming up, I wanted to get the remaining issues. First print, Santos Sisters, giant-sized Santos Sisters. This is sort of like what is it? The ligna Claire line technique that originated from Belgium. We're talking Herge or Herge. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that motherfucker's name. That invented this technique, or was one of the main fucking driving forces behind it. But there's another style I want to look up. What's it called? Hold up. Ligna Claire. So Ligna Claire, from what I just looked up, has been influenced by early American comics, and yet, like, I'm talking comic strips from the 1920s and 30s by Gluyas Williams, according to Wikipedia, and George McManus. We're talking artwork. It wasn't quite when comic books were existing, but the comic strips, just before the comic books, you've got this type of clean line artwork style that influenced Ligna Claire. It influenced these artists in particular. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Herge. But Tintin, the comic book creator behind Tintin. Tintin magazine. Now, there was another magazine that Okay, I just did a bunch of research a little bit because it was hard to find the name of the school that came out, the school of art that came out the same time as Ligna Ga+e. And we're talking Franco-Belgian roots to these two art styles. But ultimately, also what I found out is that they were like, I wouldn't say they're opposing art styles, not like they were against each other, but just the way that they would be looked, taken, and people's preferences seem to weigh either towards the Ligna Ga+e style, which was like hers or Hergé, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, who created that Tintin comic book series, which is like named after the magazine Tintin, this Franco-Belgian magazine. And I think we're talking like in the 40s though. But ultimately, both styles, the Ligna Ga+e, which is like the her style, and then you have this other school, Marcinelle School, Marcinelle, also in the 40s. And that was from a competing magazine, not Tintin, but it was from the magazine called Spirou. And then you've got this guy who created the cartoon comic book called Asterix. Asterix was created by, Asterix was created by this guy called Alerbert Uderzo. And it turns out, my point is Alerbert Uderzo and his comic book Asterix, right there, he was influenced by Walt Disney. As well, the Tintin comic book, that, that type of style influenced the creators on Archie, which this is, I'm sure, heavily influenced by. This is like a camp take on these two Latinas that Santos sisters, that are the main characters of this comic book. It's fucking awesome. I love the humor, and I love like the whole like Archie / superhero take, adult oriented stories. This compilation of stories. It's kind of like its own anthology, each issue, about a few main characters, including Santos sisters. Pretty sweet. But also, the Ligna Ga+e style was influenced, from what I've read, by comic strips just before the birth of the comic book. So, American artwork, 20th century. It's got that going for it.
Which is nice,
I think. All right. Entonces, número 4. Halloween special. It's pretty fucking hot cover, right? All right. So I got me a couple copies of the purple one. Sweet. Oh yeah, newsprint. Stuff like this should have been in newsprint, especially if you're going to reprint something from the 80s. You would think it would save on cost, but hey, you got also have brand identity. Just a cool looking book to push the higher price. So this giant size Halloween special is Either way, this should have been a newsprint. That would have been a nice touch. Would have been cheaper to produce, wouldn't it? Especially if you're like the largest global conglomerate on the fucking planet and you're charging these prices. All right. Cool ad. Reminds me of a lot of the 90s ads were like this. Fumetti. Some of the creators' names here. Santo Sisters and Friends Halloween special. Hell yeah. And I'll stop it right on. Look at that. Fucking awesome produced comic here. What the fuck? Dear Greg and Fake. Cool. That's your name. Hell of a work. Great comic. Thank you. Actually left me a comment when I mentioned them the first time when I was showing off issue 5, which is the latest. Well, now this is their latest issue from just October. Pretty sweet. All right, so we have like a Mexican superhero, right? Oh yeah, I don't want to show that one. Next one. The following comic is by the same artist. This is pretty sick. Same publisher, Scout. It's like a Mexican superhero. It's like a really good-natured young kid here, and this writer Hector Gonzalez. That's like Latin American team here, I suppose. Digging the artwork. I looked through this just for a minute. This guy's he's crazy. He's like mentally disabled, and it's like naive young superheroes trying to save him, but then the police, since this guy's holding an axe, shoot him. So he's tripping on that. Don't want to give too much away, but I liked it. It was a good-natured book. Nothing deep, but seemed promising. So we'll see how that goes. Pilote, not sure, but I'm digging it. So I think it's the same artist here. Scott. Check out this foxy mama. All right. Between this caravan. So this woman's like seducing these guys. Vicastro's the writer, and she's gonna fuck their shit up. Hardcore. This comic rocks. Look at this shit. Yeah, she is. Who wouldn't follow her into a hotel room? All right, so I'm ready to party, and she's. I don't think so. So the original guy that approached her, she's just gonna have him be her bitch. She wants to head, I think, to the United States. Something about that. Oh, yeah, she make him drink that blood? Yeah. Oh, we got a corner bend. Is that what's going on? All right, there you go. So something to keep out, take care of your comics. You see a Katrina's Caravan, make sure they got that corner bent. I don't know how much this is going to be sought after, but this is a fucking sweet read here. A horror comic. So this Chispa, this is I guess it's like a sub-label within Scout. Yeah. Coming soon, the 13. So he's part of the 13 Origins. Don't know if anybody has any info. Please leave a comment. In the meantime, I got 7 Years of Darkness. It's a 4-issue limited series. A bunch of each issue, bunch of variant covers. Each issue had its own like retailer incentive cover. This is the first issue's retailer incentive cover. For me, this is the one I really wanted, the Bill Sienkiewicz one. I actually got this. I mean, for me, $25 is a good deal because I can't find this online. I haven't been able to find this online in a minute. So some people have better regions that they live in. They're able to find certain types of labels or certain genres, eras. in their back issue bins more than others, but get better deals than others. It's crazy. Some of these deals people get online. It's, you know, YouTube's part of the hobby. Checking out these channels. It's one of the funner aspects of YouTube, got to say. Hearing some of the deals people get. So they're just like what they're able to find, whether it's a deal or not. It's just like, wow, stuff like this, right? Can't even find this. And when I have, it's like really expensive. So found somebody, an independent seller that just was selling it in their own site online. 25 bucks. I think it was like 20, and then the $5 was towards shipping. So yeah, hell of a deal in my opinion. It's got like the nice shiny bag, but hopefully good enough for me because I can't find that shit. Look at that. Is that MF Doom? Is that who that's supposed to be a takeoff of? Email this guy. It's cool. It's cool how a lot of these creators, you can just send them an email and you know, you get some feedback or send them a couple sentences. Nothing deep, and it's pretty fucking cool how people can just hit you back. All right. Oh, that's another thing I want to look. Pidge, Pidge. Yeah, that's the creator's alias that he's using for Infinite Wheat Paste. I forgot what that guy's name is. Brandon something maybe his real name is, but he's also been living in the Denver area. Can't stand this area. Sucks here. Not for me, to put it lightly. 7 years in darkness. Well, I got 3.5 down. 7 years in darkness. This is the 1 in 10 retailer incentive variant, right? Sienkiewicz cover. The Academy of Black Magic has reopened its doors for the first time in 200 years. 72 children will walk through the Academy doors freshman year, but only 7 will graduate and walk out alive. Written and drawn by Joseph Schmalk. So there's an A and a B for each of the 4 issues. And then the retailer incentive. The Ben Templesmith for issue 2 is really cool too. Allow myself to introduce myself. Pink Elephant. It's like a horror comic of these people that are out in a cabin. All right, so this is about a comic. These kids go up to a cabin in the woods, and for some reason, they don't find it too strange that this old lady's selling tabs of acid at her register. It's like Pink Elephant. It's like this plastic ornate holder. You think it was like for strips of gum or something. And yeah, her in like the middle of nowhere. So the kids go to their remote cabin, and she puts on an elephant mask while they're tripping and kills them. It's like a slasher comic. Well, all these kids are tripping on the acid that she made. As you can see, like the tracer effects here. I'll just show one more page because this is a great book. Yeah, this is fun. Sumerian. Is it Sumerian bought Behemoth? Shit, is that right? Double check that. Hold up. Yeah, Sumerian in February 2020. Sumerian Comics is an American comic book publisher based in Los Angeles, California. The company was founded in 2020 by Nathan Yoakum and Ryan Swanson as Behemoth Comics. The comic division was over 500,000 comics yearly. 8th in total market share in 2021. Known for its licensed titles like American Psycho, Basic Instinct. All right, working with companies like Ubisoft and Netflix. All right, there you go. Sumerian bought Behemoth then. All right, then that's what that day is. And then Behemoth, I think they I guess what they tell Schmalk to kick rocks because then he did CEX, and then now he's going to be doing, because it's 7 years of darkness, right? So for each year that these kids are going to be in school, as all this shit is going down, they're going to be having a 4-issue limited series created to depict their story each school year. So for every year at this Black Magic Academy, this guy here, Mr. Joseph Schmalk. He's going to be doing a 4-issue limited series, and then he's going to have a supplemental series. I'm not sure if those are going to be one-shots all the time or 2 or 3 or 4-issue limited series. Yeah, here's 7 Years in Darkness, the Shamir Worm. You can hardly even read that. Fix that for your next ad. CEX still, but from an interview I thought I saw with Schmalk, I don't think that label's going to be continuing either. He made it sound like it was all up in the air, and this 7 Years in Darkness might be jumping different labels. Yeah, pretty dope. Halloween, Halloween. The best nights. It's like an opportunity for women, everyone to go out and dress up and be who they want to be. One of the best aspects of Halloween is like, right, yeah. I saw this at the store, issue number 4, whatever. Betty Page, Halloween outfit right there. It's pretty dope. And then got just the 1 in 10. Normally I don't look for these comics. I'm not too much into already having overstock like I already have. I'm collecting way too many comics, but couldn't resist but these two, and just decided to get the 1 in 10 because it's a Linsner black and white variant. She pretty much looks naked. Dope. Betty Page covered by Linsner. Alice Cooper. I don't know. I'm not sure how many issues this limited series is by Alice Cooper, but it's been coming out monthly. Dynamite. I showed off some of the interior artwork. It's like all these musicians that have sold their soul. There's like a likeness of Prince in there that they got, and it's a bunch of different artists that they showed. Thought that was cool. But yeah, Alice Cooper, the likeness with Alice Cooper in these comics is pretty cool, but just decided to pick up a second photo cover. I'm always wondering what's going to happen, because like Kiss and Alice Cooper, they have a presence in pop culture and comics, but they're not getting any younger. And just recently, I was just thinking this, Kiss, they just had that recent hologram. They've now licensed themselves out, their likeness. It is what it is. They could now, get in a car accident and have plastic surgery, and you'd never know who they are. But now their likenesses are scanned, and it's pretty interesting. So that is interesting in the sense of, people always would say, well, who's going to know who Kiss is in 10 years? Well, if you get the right creator team, right? It's all about. Fearless Dawn. It's a great new comic, huh? Check that out, Fearless Dawn. So I showed off issue, well, it's like a one-shot, but I showed off another issue that is by this creator, Steve Mannion, writer-artist. Yeah, I wasn't too familiar with Steve Mannion up until I've been checking out a lot of the online sites. Once again, it's fun to check out the top 10. I love hazing some of those guys. They know it's all good-natured, but not all of them know it's good-natured. Whatever. But look at this artwork. This is fucking sick. Because my point is the top 10s are fun, but yeah, another great aspect of YouTube is just checking out different types of artists. Steve Mannion. I mean, where the hell are you? See, how long does it take for him to do a page, you think? As long as he feels like it? Kind of like the Dark One. The guy over at Sirius. He worked with Linsner for those Clore comics. Animal Mystic. Anyway, those people, like their art style, what they do is so awesome. It's sort of like they can make so much money doing other graphic design work. They don't really need to work as often as we would like them to. My assumption, because that is just so crazy. Total fun here. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Steve Mannion. Did you see that Steve Mannion Fearless Dog joint? Oh, gee. fucking just, I'm not into the whole bubblegum cover deal, but just saw this and thought, fuck it. Yeah, is that Jenny Frizen, right? Bubblegum. Like, yeah, decided to get that just for the hell of it. I'm not really into that, just buying stuff for covers, but we'll see how things go. Rufus Karl. Ja, und hier ist der Rufus Karl. I don't know what this comic is about. Rufus Karl is one bad hombre. What is that? Is that Dark Horse Presents 51? Maybe? Marv on the cover, holding an axe. That's at the homage to. Special combo issue collecting the first 2 chapters. So, yeah, let's check it out. Real quick. If only. Not bad. And not bad. I just saw that Sin City homage. I like the paper stock. I want to be careful with this though, so let me get me some reader copies. That's why if somebody says if your comics are beat up, nobody's going to want them. Maybe not for the price you want, but it's always fun to have reader copies that are the actual comics, but you don't have to worry about beating them up, because they already are. You got them for 50 cents, 25 cents. The Man from Maybe. These are the 2 issues. I don't know how much more I'm going to be following this. I just thought it was like a nice Shaky Kane novelty. Cain and Abel. That's a great comic book. That Treasury Size Edition collaboration that Shaky Kane done through Image Comics. But this is Oni, actually. Yeah, and what was it? I'm trying to remember. I just didn't find the story all that engaging. It just seemed kind of like these aliens are overtaken by this like purple ooze, and then it just goes to planet, and you got like a space cowboy, some American that's like trying to stop it. I mean, it's fun. It's funny. No, I mean, I guess I was expecting something a little more creative and edgy, and it is in a way. I don't know. I've been a little distracted lately, so don't take my opinion on some of the criticism too harsh. Children of the Comet. So finally got all 4 issues. All right, so check this out. Had some technical difficulties, and then when I ran out of space, go figure, right? I draw stuff out so much. I'm extremely verbose, in case you couldn't tell. So pass that on. But ran out of space. And then when I played back the second part, that was when I was looking up information on the ligna and the other style that represented the Asterix, that other school. There were 2 schools of thought, two schools of illustrating from this Franco-Belgian style. My point is, though, when I played it back, it was vertical. The video, that whole section, then I put it into Wondershare and turned it, then you got to expand it. So from that section to the beginning of this is that thing that was like vertical, turned it, expanded it. It's a cut, baby. All right. Children of the Comet. Oh, yeah. I'm so psyched. I passed that Network Plus exam. What the fuck? Gave myself a little bit of something there. Nobody can take that away from me. It's valid for like 2 to 3 years. Essentially, people would take it seriously. Maybe a little bit more depending on type of job. But yeah, it's a nice relief. Fuck. This is later in the day now. I took a break. When I saw that video was vertical, I was like, oh, shit. I'll come back to this later. Good to take a break like that. Looked up a little bit of info on Damon Connolly, and this is the 3rd one, as far as I know. This is the last limited series. You had the stories, the first two limited series that Damon Connolly wrote and drew. Follow Me Into Darkness, that was preceded by the first one, You Promised Me Darkness. And You Promised Me Darkness, the big deal with that is You Promised Me Darkness by Damien Connolly. It was like the first black and white series in over a decade to break 54,000 copies for a first issue. They had a bunch of variant covers and all, but it was from Sumerian, and it just was known for being this, like the first time in 20 years or something that an independent black and white comic premiere issue broke, 52K. I think it was around 52 or 54,000 copies. So he made a name for himself, and then he wrote and drew the follow-up series, Follow Me Into Darkness. And then now you've got the consequences of this comet that came by Earth, and Halley's Comet. And I don't think it was every time, but maybe the last 2 or 3, whenever it would go by Earth, every 76 years, it would give people superpowers, like, I don't know, 1 out of every million or something, kind of like a mutant power, something random, could be a curse. Typically it's something cool. And his take on just a superhero and just kind of everyday living, that mixture of spice of life, I thought was really awesome. So ultimately, this is the end. And he used a different artist for this. And he's from Argentina. So he explained how these series are all trade paperbacks when they're initially produced. He didn't have individual issues in mind, just so you know. So the first series, Follow Me Into Darkness, or excuse me, You Promised Me Darkness, was this trade paperback. I haven't read this yet because I wanted to wait till I would finally get the 4th issue, which finally came in just recently. So
I got that going for me.
Which is nice, I think. And yeah, I had to get doubles of this Slayer comic. This is like 10 Ton Press. 10 Ton Press did that Frankenstein comic book. And these like rock and roll bio comics. There's a Guar one. For some reason I didn't include it in this haul. But this is 2023. Yeah, this is just new comics that I'm showing this haul. And really appreciate y'all sticking with me as I went through all this history of comics and showing off the contents. And most people, I think they filter their videos so they don't want to look at anything in their search results that's over 20 minutes. It is what it is. But for this, a lot of these rock and roll comics, the art is mediocre, but this is fucking sick. Matt's Ingeston. All right. Michael Aushenga. But rock and roll biography comics. Slayer. October 2023. Very dope. Yeah, look at that. That's fucking quality right there. That's, it's rock and roll. Come on. Newsprint as well, by the way. $3.99 cover price. There we go. I still think that when you start working newsprint, just keep it at between $1 and $2. Especially for those Marvel reprints. Newsprint. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this new comic book haul. This gem is from the Tucson Comic Book Haul in 2023, September. Can you dig it? This is a bootleg comic. A bootleg special. And that's it. All right. Thanks for coming. Just kidding. Check this out. I haven't opened this up yet. It's a little costly gem here. What's this? I think this was a $40 comic for me. I have to look it up though. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we got this. What if Boba Fett fought Predator? Enter Acid Predator. All right. 48-page flip book. Holy shit. This side is a special artist edition presented without word bubbles, sound effects, or page numbers, so the full raw pencils and inks can be appreciated. Flip book over for a full presentation. Bootleg Billy. Layouts, pencils, inks, edits. Bootleg Special, Volume 1, Number 1, 2023. Right there. Wow, it's pretty dope. There you have it. My good sir, my fine madam, sirs and madams, and sirs. There you have it. There you have it. Comic Book Haul 69, Part XL. Thank you very much for visiting. Very much appreciate everybody swinging by. Come again. Anytime. Sequential Geek signing off. Read a comic. Chill out. Be cool to somebody. To all sequential peeps, shout out. Peace. Much love. And remember,
we must keep moving. We must keep going. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving.